So the lesson I took of what happened with the air traffic controllers was that sequestration is here to stay. That was precisely the sort of thing that people opposed to sequestration, particularly Democrats, said, look, there are going to be delays, that's going to focus Congress, we'll get this reversed. The only thing that got reversed were the airline delays. Is sequestration here to stay? Is there any, do you see any scenario, and if you do, can you walk us through it, in which you get that reversed?
I think that if you go back to the beginning, the reason sequestration was put in place was to put something so unattractive out there that it would motivate Congress to enact a balanced set of spending cuts and revenue increases. Having failed to do that, sequestration took effect. There's now, I think, a kind of stunning lack of imagination to understand the impact of the effects of sequestration. You know, on the domestic side, it has real impact if you're not making new grants in NIH in terms of the future of biomedical research and the economic developments that come out of biomedical research. It makes a real difference in the military if you're idling fighter squadrons and the planes may not be airworthy and the crews won't have time in the air to go into battle if they need to. These things aren't free. Now, I can't sit here today and tell you I know exactly when that's going to sink in. It's not an on-off switch like the air traffic control. Anyone sitting in an airport for 2 hours understood air traffic control, you know, up close and personal, and it you know, I think had a special, you know, kind of immediacy, you know, and that's why there was a reaction. I don't think the consequences of sequestration are policies that are good for the country or broadly what the American people want. I think we have to get on to the debate of how do we have alternative policies to do deficit reduction and make room for the kinds of investments that will keep America on the cutting edge in the next generation. And I can't tell you if that's going to be in the next 2 months or not, but I have a fairly high degree of confidence that what was designed to be a bad policy is going to have consequences that are very unattractive, and one way or another we're going to find a path to work together on providing some relief.
I assume the most likely path is part of some larger deal where there isn't a headline one day that says sequestration reversed. It seems to me that would be very difficult for the Republicans to do.
This isn't a question of one side kind of winning or losing. I think the notion that there are some who are saying sequestration was our great victory. Nobody thought it was a great victory in August 2011. It was kind of the only way to resolve a miserable battle over whether or not the United States should default by getting the debt limit extended and having a frame for Congress to get some more time to make some sensible policy. So the fact that there's now a sense that it's a victory is kind of a little stunning. By the same token, I don't think that this requires the kind of arm wrestling where one side has to win and the other side has to lose. There are a lot of ideas out there about better ways to do deficit reduction, and there are a lot of ideas about things we need to do for this country to have the kind of future it should have. And the sooner we can get into the debate about those things, the better. I hope it's this year. Obviously, I think it would be better if it's sooner rather than later. The macroeconomic effect is very real, and I think it would be a good thing for this country if we took our own advice and got the fiscal consolidation, the deficit reduction, a little bit into the future with the kind of structural reforms that build long-term confidence.